Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. My name is Festus for those of you that are first time viewers, and on today's video we'll be talking about how to get better at programming, how to get good at programming. So the part of the reason why many people fall off the wagon or don't feel motivated to continue in their learning journey when learning anything technical, it could even be just be scripting or data science, whatever the case may be. The major reason is because one, they might be learning with bad resources. So in most cases, I've found people who said they spent 4 or 5 months learning and I couldn't see anything that they learned. It just didn't make any sense. And this was not because they were not good enough. This was not because they didn't have the knack for it. It was simply because they did not ask the right questions. They didn't speak to someone experienced to guide them on the resources to use. So they were using bad resources and most of them even outdated. And for other people, in some other cases, it could be, okay, you have the resources right, everything is pretty awesome, technologies are new, the post tutorials, everything is up to date, but you're doing it the wrong way by following the wrong roadmap or just learning random things. So a typical example will be someone who wants to be a web developer, a backend developer to be precise, and just jump straight to learning Django instead of going to learn Python first. As though Django in itself is Python, you wouldn't really understand how a lot of the things that happens is happening. So when you run into a problem, you're unable to, troubleshoot down to the source because you don't even understand how what you're doing is being done. You just, know the classes you're calling, the namespaces or whatever you're using, but you don't know how they get to do what they do. And this could contribute to the reason why you will never get good. All of those being said, that's not even close to what the purpose of this video is. So how to get good at programming, there's only one way. There's no two ways about this. The only way you can get good at anything. So I'll actually help you answer the question. Say you want to be a photographer. How do you get good at photography? It's simple. You take a lot of pictures. You want to be an artist. How do you get good? Simple. You do a lot of drawing. Same as being a YouTuber, like what I'm doing now. How am I getting good? If you watched my first video, you will agree with me that it was a disaster. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but compared to where we are now, it's a lot better simply because there was consistency. So that's the answer to the question of today. But are we done with the video? Of course not. So consistency is the only way you get good at whatever it is you're doing in life, whether as a doctor or you become a surgeon. Consistency in doing that particular procedure multiple times is what makes you get better at it. It's not magic. No one just wakes up and all the command of Linux or whatever pops into their head. There's no drive you can use to download it into your brain. It's simply doing it over and over again. And you're not even getting so good to the point where you remember everything. You're getting so good to the point where you understand what it is you need to do. So in a situation where you run into a roadblock, you're able to figure out what it might be that would fix it because you've probably done that in the past. So how do you get consistent? How do you ensure that you're consistent? That's the next thing we're going to be talking about. There are basically 3 ways to ensure and build up that consistency or a consistent pattern, so to say. The first of them would be scheduling. So you want to ensure that you're using a task scheduler to fix all the activities that you're meant to do. And what this does is it keeps you in check. You're able to look at it and say, okay, I need to do 5 things today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when you're looking back at this particular, whether it be a tool or a particular notepad, you're writing things you need to do, the psychology behind it is when you're crossing out those activities, it fuels you and it motivates you to want to do more. So there are tools out there that enable you to do this. A popular one in the industry, actually used even in the companies, is called Notion, I believe. There are other ones like Trello. In fact, when you're beginning, you don't need something as complex as these because these are tools that have been integrated with so many other ones to have a vast functionality. So you can use something as easy as the Notes app that is native on your mobile phone, be it Android, Apple, whatever it is. There are tools like that that you could use to achieve something really, really good. When it comes to scheduling, many people get it wrong. You tend to write a bunch of activities out there, and at the end of the day, you find out that you do some and you don't have time to do some. Chances are the ones you didn't do are more important than the ones you did. And this is not helping in any way. So I'm going to leave you with a quote by a popular author named Stephen Covey. So Stephen Covey always says, schedule your priorities, not prioritize your schedule. That's it for scheduling. The next point to help you with your consistency is building habits. So as much as you want to be scheduling your activities, it would also help you and make it easy if those activities are following a particular pattern. So you know that every morning you have to code for 2 hours between the hours of 9 to 11 every morning, and every night you have to code for the same 2 hours between the hours of, say, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So writing it in your schedule keeps you in check, but doing it at that particular time every single day makes it even not necessary for you to have to put it in your schedule, because you get so used to that habit and that pattern that it's easier for you to keep going. And that's the number 2. And the last way to ensure you stay consistent is the one that a lot of people actually get wrong. And this is something that even when you have 10 years of experience, if you don't put yourself in this mind space, you would always keep messing things up. You want to focus on the little bits. And part of the reason why many people fall off the wagon or not even have the motivation or zeal to stay consistent is because they are focusing too much on the bigger picture. Yes, you're aiming to be a software developer. You're aiming to be as good as you can get. But do not forget to focus on those little wins. So you step out the first day, you as a front-end developer, you're able to build a navigation bar. That's enough. That's all you need. Try as much as you can to get good at that one thing. Repeat it 3-4 times before you move on to the next. Because what happens is we focus more on trying to build an entire solution and pat ourselves on the chest that we don't work so hard to ensure that those little bits are completed and grasped perfectly. So if you're able to schedule fine, build up those consistent habits and focus on the little bits, and the sky is just your starting point. And that's where we stop for today. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next Friday. Have a nice weekend.